Hi, everyone. Question for you. How did people treat water before electricity, before pumps, before water treatment plants, and before modern water filters existed? I think it's a question that a lot of people don't really think about because today, if we want clean water, we just need to turn on a tap, replace a filter cartridge, or even buy a filtration system online. But for most of human history, none of those things really existed. People still needed drinking water, water for cooking, and ways to improve water quality using whatever resources were available to them at the time. And what's interesting is that some of those older methods, they still work remarkably well today. And one of those methods is called a slow sand filter. And I thought, let's talk about that today. I recently came across this article. It's more like a handbook, actually, on our platform called preppingcommunities.com. And it's called Building a Slow Sand Filter for Off-Grid Living. And what caught my attention was how simple the concept really is. No electricity, no pumps, no replacement cartridges, no complicated technology, just sand, gravel, gravity, and naturally occurring microorganisms working together to improve the water quality. And what I found interesting is that many people think a slow sand filter is just simply water flowing through sand, but that's only part of the story because over time, what happens is a biological layer, it develops naturally near the surface of the filter. And then as the water slowly passes through, beneficial microorganisms, they help improve the water quality and then they reduce many of the contaminants. So in a way, the filter becomes a living treatment system. That's one reason versions of slow sand filters have been used successfully for more than 100 years. And in the handbook, it basically explains how these systems work, how to build them, how to maintain them, and how to incorporate them into a larger off-grid water strategy. So one thing that I did appreciate is that it didn't oversell the technology. A slow sand filter, it's not a magic solution. It won't remove every possible contaminant. And depending on your water source, additional treatment methods, they may still be necessary, but for preparedness-minded individuals, homesteaders, off-grid families, and cabin owners, it does remain one of the most practical low-tech water treatment systems available. And the guide, it also discusses topics that a lot of us overlook, like including filter sizing, maintenance, winter operation, biological maturation, and how a slow sand filter fits into a complete off-grid water system. Because water treatment, it's not just about having a filter, it's about having a complete plan for collecting, storing, treating, and protecting your water supply over the long term. And that's really what preparedness is all about, right? Like not just having the equipment, but understanding how things work and having options when modern systems aren't available. And one thing that I love about our platform, preppingcommunities.com, is that you often go on there looking for information for one preparedness topic, and you end up discovering several others you hadn't even considered before. And that's because our platform, it contains thousands and thousands of preparedness resources that cover water, food storage, communications, security, medical preparedness, homesteading, off-grid living, and so much more. So if preparedness is something that you're serious about, I encourage you to register with preppingcommunities.com. Our membership to our platform is completely free, and it gives you access to all of it. And so before we wrap up, and if you want to find out more information about this water filtration process, please, I encourage you, log on, register, membership is free, and access the handbook. You'll get all of the details there. And so before we wrap up, I just want to mention something called Prepper Offline. I'm super excited about this because one thing that I've learned over the years is that supplies are only half the equation. The other half is access to knowledge. And most preparedness information today lives on websites, right? YouTube channels, social media platforms, forums, online services, preppingcommunities.com. But websites, they can disappear, videos can get removed, accounts can get suspended, and internet access, it's not always available. And so that is a reason that we created Prepper Offline, because it contains more than 10,000 preparedness resources covering water, food storage, medical preparedness, communication, security, homesteading, off-grid living, emergency planning, foraging, so much more. But what makes it different is it's not simply the size of the library. What makes it different is that it works completely offline. So think of it as like a preparedness website that you can carry around on a USB drive and use even when the internet isn't available. Once you download it, Prepper offline functions like a searchable preparedness website running directly from your own computer. No internet connection required. You can browse categories, you can search keywords, and you can quickly access articles, handbooks, field manuals, and preparedness resources whenever you need them. It's like a downloadable library, but you're not limited to a single device or location. You can store copies on laptops, desktop computers, USB drives, external drives, vehicles, cabins, emergency kits, bug-out bags, off-grid locations. So unlike many preparedness solutions, it isn't tied to a specific piece of hardware, an online account, or even a single device. It's just simply a preparedness website that you own and control. The idea is really simple. Your preparedness knowledge shouldn't depend on a single device, a single location, or an internet connection, because if access to information matters during an emergency, redundancy, it matters too, because the more copies you have in more places, the greater the chance your preparedness knowledge survives whatever challenge comes next. Because at the end of the day, preparedness, it's not just about storing supplies, it's about maintaining access to the knowledge needed to use them when it matters most. So if today's topic interests you, I encourage you to become a free member at preppingcommunities.com. Read the full article, Building a Slow Sand Filter for Off-Grid Living. And when I say article, I think it's more like a handbook, really. And while you're there, explore some of the other preparedness topics available. You might be surprised what you discover. And if you're building your own preparedness library, please take a look at Prepper Offline as well. Because again, preparedness is not just about having supplies, it's about having access to the knowledge needed to use them when it matters, what matters the most. I want to thank you for watching and spending a few minutes with me today. Until the next video, stay prepared, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one.